president convocation there in Banga City, and the president is here to purchase few vegetables from these marketers here, as you can see. And you can see rejoicing. So be with us. So keep watching. We are live here in Bundweta. So the marketers are dancing, waiting the president. You see the sale cassava and other agricultural stuff, vegetable here.
I feel happy. Because I see my president standing here today. So I love the idea.
So you begin president, you haven't seen yet?
No.
Wow. So
but then God, thank you that I laid my eyes on you today. Then I was seeing. I gave you the glory. God bless you.
I'd like to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. Once again, thanks for joining us on this very cool Monday morning on your breakfast info compounding program. The morning hour setting is always here Mondays to Fridays, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., where issues are discussed concerning Liberia, Africa, and the rest of our one world, be it sports, politics, religion, entertainment, you name the rights, or advocating for people who do not have the means to advocate for themselves. We are always available to speak the very hard truth, critical analysis, critical thinking. Your views and opinions are well respected on the authoritative voice of truth across Liberia. Kool 91.9, you following us. This is your breakfast info compounding program. The morning rise certainly on these outlets. Kool 91.9, Kool Radio Online, our YouTube channel too, as well as Kool. You can follow us on all of these outlets, these social media handouts. Leave a comment, share as well. Ask others to join you to watch. And trust me, the promises to be great as usual. Very stimulative, thought provocative, very hard truth, undiluted, will be said as we walk the walk and talk the talk. And as usual, have to shift the paradigm of our democracy. Welcome, folks. This is Weekie Brooks, and T. Nicholas Barkley is the man behind the camera this morning on this edition of the Morning Ride. And the team is here is in 4. We are going to be here talking about what matters most about Liberia and how we can do to move Liberia forward. So if we are sailing farther than others because we stood on the shoulders of giants. welcome on this edition. Without further ado, I'd like to say again, it's a pleasure having you join. I hope you had yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend. You know, in times are hard, things are difficult, especially where we are pushing our 178th Independent Day celebration. Liberians are looking around, looking on the shoulders. The kids are looking into parent faces, and government employees, people in the private sector looking up to the management and other folks to say, what are we going to eat on Saturday? What are we going to be celebrating? Our state security that will be overwhelmed by various events across the country. And, but we all of the conviction that things will go well. We will celebrate as a nation, as a people. But that's a very hard truth and critical analysis will be done this morning on this platform, because we have seen ourselves over the period of time repeating a lot of things when we talk about ahead of this, the 178th independence celebration. In the last couple of years, we have had two orators who delivered some very hard messages and truth to our government in the past and present, and also to Liberians and foreign residents in the country that probably did not go down well with some folks based on how they see it. But have we been able to take some of the very hard truth and work on it? I took my time over the weekend to critically look at some things that have got Liberia where we are today. And we are trying to answer some of the very hard questions and do critical analysis that we will not apologize to anybody if you think we're talking to you, because these are reality. Truth telling, not real in Liberia. This issue of praise sinking has got us where we are today. We have destroyed ourselves. I don't know how many times we'll keep talking about unity, but we divide ourselves, we destroy ourselves. And we say these things on the lips, and we have not been able to actualize it. Nothing destroying Liberia but this unity, this satisfaction, and you see it in the faces of the people. And we'll give you some of the factors. This year's celebration will mark Liberia's 178th independent nation as a sovereign state, the oldest republic on the continent of Africa since 1847, July 26. And this year orator, a veteran diplomat, a seasoned educator, somebody who understands government and governance, worked tirelessly locally and internationally, still contributing. Caroline is an ambassador, doing a pro bono for this country at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And so we have this year Ambassador Emmett Eldon will serve as the 178th independent orator of Liberia. And let's come to think about this. We've been told on occasions, and we talk about recent past and present, most of the time, at times we look into our inner cycle, our political party or our governing system, and take somebody from there to be the orator. And most of the times, people who support a particular regime or a particular president at the time want to hear all of the praises. And so sometimes when they are given a chance, they present day realities, the hard truth, would not be said because the leader of the day might not just be happy with it. We have seen two of our past Independent Day orators who, after their speeches, couple of minutes were commended. After a few hours, they were being bullied, torn apart, and some stood by the words and said, look, these are realities. And if some done well in other people who sat and say, yes, our leaders must be told the truth. Because that's what can fix Liberia. We have had history in this country of people that most often surround our leaders, our sycophants, high-level deceptions. They don't say the truth. Nobody needs to tell anybody that Liberians are struggling on a daily basis to find food for themselves. Nobody needs to tell you that thousands of kids are out of school, parents cannot afford. Nobody needs to tell you that the issue of corruption still exists. Government is exerting all of the efforts to make sure that we can fight it, but it must have a political will and putting an end to the culture of impunity. We have all, and we have spoken about unity, and we fight. Sometimes we get divided on the political fronts. Within the pact from the civil crisis for decades, after fighting and taking away thousands of lives, today people are trying to rebuild their lives. People trying to rebuild Liberia. We talk about roads, we talk about health, agriculture, education, all of these things, and we just gradually, sometimes the pace so slow. We are getting there, but probably the pace is so slow. What are we taking this no more years? We were just a couple of years into our crisis. In the 90s, when Rwanda also joined us and had to fight among themselves. In 1993-94, one of the worst genocide on planet Earth took place in Rwanda. One of the worst that mankind have seen. Where pretty close to 1 million people died in a couple of months. For us, most of the time we say 250,000, but we know it's more private. It could be up to 500,000 above. But since after the crisis in Rwanda, and since after the crisis in Liberia, Rwanda have unified her citizens. Rwanda have become so far developed than Liberia. Today, on the continent of Africa, parents who can afford, Liberian government supporting scholarships, can run to Rwanda for further education. When we still have our universities and other technical institutions here struggling. Rwanda today, when you want to talk about some of the cleanest cities in the world, you'll be talking about Kigali. When you talk about skyscrapers and other tall buildings, when we had it back then, and you in the 60s, Rwanda could not produce more than 5. But today, after that deadly war, that crisis internally, that took away pretty close to 1 million lives, today the scouts, they have fought over the period of time to bring the culture of impunity. People are still being arrested across the world, those who participated. There are others who've been tried in foreign land and jailed. There are others who were taken back. You go to the museums, you see scouts, you see skeletons. Though it's terrible, but people travel around the world to get this story. And they make millions of dollars for it. the two tribes, the Tutsis and the Hutus. Today, we know everything will not be 100% perfect, but they coexist. They prefer to call themselves Rwandans than to call themselves Tutsi or Hutus, because they feel divided. The first thing you must take into consideration that we are. A few years back, when the CDC-led government took over, the first independence celebration we had, she looked right within and took one of her funniest, as they usually claim, in person of former finance minister Samuel Tuer as the orator who deliver and shower all of the praises, the prospects, and all of the things on former President George Weah. And there are folks who say it comes with no surprise. We expected to hear these things once your uncle writes your CV, you're expected to be rich. And after that, after some of the criticisms and other things, mustering the courage for unity, that we move forward, we had one of the only two Nobel laureates from Liberia who shared that with former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Bowie, who were then selected by the ex-white government to deliver. And she delivered some very hard truth, of which we could not take those things that were said, but rather she was being commended, and after a few minutes there was a huge reaction. Almost every day there was some press conference call to tear her apart. There were folks from the ruling party at the time, or the government at the time, who thought that she was a spy member of the Unity Party or coming from the opposition bloc. That's why she spoke the way she spoke. She was not being sincere. She was not being honest when she spoke about the issue of unity, and she directed it to people in position, no position, opposition. The hard truth. Bowie used the broom as an example that when we go together, it's difficult to have it taken away, or taken apart. From there, we went on not to allow people so easily from the opposition bloc to deliver any state of the nation or to deliver any one of our independence celebration. It was just coming from within, so the praises were just coming. We did not go back to look at some of the things Madam Lehman Bowie said. But we have all spoken about the issue of unity. It's difficult for us to achieve it. There are factors. It's difficult. Let us face reality. Very, very difficult. And two things that once we have failed and continue to drag our feet or striving towards it, but sincerity, commitment, and the political will must be seen in them. Other than that, we have all of these features coming. We will be told harsh reality, and we will get vexed. We will create animosity with people who will be telling us sometimes to guide us. We spoke about the issue of corruption years back. Today, there are scores of government officials being suspended by the president for allegation of corruption. How are we fighting these things? In the past, Liberian cried on the issue of corruption. The actions that people expected to have been taken on officials who were perceived to be corrupt or to answer to some of these allegations. The world scot-free today. Some of them got sanctioned by world superpower. Some of them today are facing trial for the past. And in the words of Samuel 12, he was talking about the issue of cultural impunity, fighting corruption. We need to end it. He said, even if you committed a crime, in years to come, you will be tried. Today, our people, those things have come back, but these are things that they are rejecting. But we wonder how reconcile themselves. Public funds are used for the sole purpose. Streets are planted with flowers and trees. World leaders are visiting that country. Paul Kagame may be around for the long period of time now. For me, I don't subscribe to people who will want to liberate and continue to impose themselves on the people. Sometimes you take the value of what you have said. Like in the world, one of my funniest and greatest presidents on the continent, probably the world over, Robert Gabriel Mugabe, out of what independent fellow in the 80s of Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, had to mess things up. They could not walk in the footpath of Nelson Mandela. And Paul Biya is in Cameroon about to destroy all of what he thinks he has done. At age 92, still talking about being president. Then we come back to Liberia. How will we not be divided? Be honest. People saw you just yesterday in one room. And right after you got appointed or elected, they have seen you have bought homes or built houses in split second. Nobody gets happy about that. Nobody gets happy. People know people in this country. Somebody saw you yesterday. We know life you have to improve, but not that kind of a speed that we see almost every time. You guys are just together yesterday, could not afford to have even 2 meals a day. Today you are having 3, 4 and making decisions what sort of a meal you want to have. And the man who saw you yesterday never gets happy because he or she knows you. And when your names are mentioned into corruption allegation, you use your political strength or your financial strength and call on those who have the intellectual tenacity to defend you with words that those who are down the line will never understand until the kingdom comes. We speak about unity, and we just fight for it. We discredit ourselves. And the reason why we will not be united so easily and will not be developed as we expect to be developed, just simple. People will repose their trust and confidence in leaders to make the difference. And when they come there, they deviate. They thwart all of the plans. And the silent voices who could not speak at the time will wait for elections to come around. And we do absolutely nothing but to silence you of your position democratically. And out of anger, will not properly scrutinize or vet individual, but because they are mine, they bring anybody from behind the house. They take anybody from the dark forest and bring them to national leadership. And when these people get there, they come with similar behavior. And you still feed the pain, the scars from the past regime to the present regime, from the war to present day reality. If we are to be united, we must be truth-telling. We must. We have bet on Saturday again. We are about to hear some very nice things. And I like to say, one of the things that gradually I've seen and we think is a good sign. But yet and still, we still want to divide ourselves on it. The government of Liberia announced, leading to the July 26th celebration, there are a series of projects that will be dedicated by the government. And the president will be around to dedicate some of the projects if the need be. So the government said they will feature the dedication of several key projects as part of the week-long celebration. There will be a delegation of the modern school in Bum County, decentralized passport center in Bum and Grand Julia County, and the Camp Grant military barracks in Nimba County that have been renovated or pretty close to completion. I should be full Saturday or probably it's over now. And to be honest, some of these projects are initiatives from the past government. And these are some of the factors that normally divide us, that we at times we don't give credit. But I've seen some sign in the writing on the wall that this government have shown on occasion of following and completing some of the projects that were initiated by the former president or the former government, the immediate past government, CDC. And this is a good step. This is a good step. Because when we start to complete projects of our predecessors, it set a cool pace and smooth sailing for whoever comes after you. And when you start to initiate yours, there are others who will come. Once they try to deviate, the masses will point finger to the Lord. But we should also acknowledge those people who yesterday initiated some of those projects that will be delegated. And the government was being clear when we won the non-permanent seat. They lauded the past government, especially with the involvement of former President George Weah, who started the process and other things. That's good. That's how other countries are healing wounds. That's how other countries are uniting themselves. That after election or after a major crisis in the country, they put it behind them. But we cannot get united when the immediate past government will be out, initiate some of the projects, and see it being abandoned, and the government of the day start to initiate their own projects or completing some of the projects where millions of dollars already been spent in it. It hurts a whole lot when they pass by and see the project that is thought to have been better for the development and making impact in the lives of the people, you see. And we are divided because of the way our leaders speak. One minute we to one round table, in split second we pointing finger and accusing people of something. You see? When people come to power, some of the folks were accommodating the political allies, the foot soldiers, sometimes not through the proper means, not through the front door, but rather the back door or through the windows. And when another government comes in and do a personnel inventory or to critically look at how these people got into the system, one that is not proper, we turn it as a political witch hunt. There were folks that, look, there are too many things that continue to destroy and divide us. Until we can work on those things, trust me, we will talk about roads, we will talk about health, we will never be united. We will never. Because the deceptions in our leaders and is now descending into the common people, the people that you divide. We sit on the other side and see all of the problems. That we have solution to those problems, just put us there. Once we are there, it's a different thing. They say Kool, you not inside, you don't know. So these are some of the fighters that got out of this. The women are preparing to take march on the issue of drugs. How are we fighting it? Some of the folks in this country's parents, the only child in their family, are today sleeping in cemeteries, sleeping on the market kitchen, sleeping in unfinished houses. Some of our young sisters tomorrow who could be the next Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the next Munam Penno, the next Mandela Parker, the next Liman Bowie. Some of the a young man today who could be the next generation of one of the funniest soccer stars of all time, Ambassador George Weah. Some who could be a law-serving statesman with honesty and impeccable character of Joseph Boakai. And the list go on. The next Madam Joy Howard Taylor, the next Yombli Kanga, the next Marandoa Cassell who will stand and throw you, the next CRC, Teddy Ride, the rest of the folks here, all these people, some of the funniest writers, never wrote a shit, but fell prey to drugs. We never had a chance to read a poetry from that person. Some of the songs that we should be dancing today and making headways on the continent or probably the world over, but never sung. But we got the energy, the zest for politics that divide us. We have all of the energy and time to defend people who are alleged to be involved in the corruption, and we turn it the culture of impunity have robbed so many Liberians of their future. The sense of belonging. There are folks who frustrated, confused, don't even believe that they live in a country. They say and watch you. You all were fighting for vehicle just a couple of days or a couple of years back. But today, you live in a house that nobody, absolutely nobody sees the houses there because of the size and the height of the fence. And you got fleets of vehicles. You wake up in the morning, you make a decision which one probably might just suit the clothes you're wearing. I wear a blue suit to this time, I'm using my blue Mercedes Benz. I'm wearing a black suit today, saying that I'm using my black body. Or BMW, all of these things. We tend to overlook these things. We tend to overlook these things. We talk all the good things. All of the good things. I remember some of the lines from the Minister of Finance Development Planning at the time. Former Minister Samuel Toy. He talked about the wage war against corruption, where Liberians are so happy because the president already stated that public funds will not end up into the pocket of government officials, and they will not be spectator to the economy. It brought joy that Liberians were going to take charge of the economy. But today, Liberians are still struggling. Liberian businesses are crumbling. They're bruising to our foreign businesses operators in this country. We can easily match them. We award contracts to them, pay them in full, and we all Liberian own businesses, but we expect them to compete with those with the financial strength. Today, some of the businesses in Liberia do not exist because We destroyed them because we wanted to have a kickback. And this was the exact word that Samuel 12 used. A war against corruption. He said there is no problem in Liberia that is bigger than the problem of corruption. And that's true. He said corruption has been a root cause of the conflicts that have run through our history. This generation of Liberians and this new government must renew its pledge to fight and end corruption. And that, what did he say? He said the first step is to abolish the culture of impunity. We have to give more teeth. That's what he said. We have to give more teeth. Meaning you got to give more power, more strength to anti-graft institutions. That when they're biting, they will bite to the core and know that you committed this act and you must face the foe. He said, we have to give more teeth to anti-corruption institutions like the General Auditing Commission, the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, and the Internal Audit Agency. These are some of the areas today that the IAA that should be writing the necessary checkpoint that government resources are not wasted or overspent, and back those areas and make sure that people spend in accordance with the law. But they've been racked with huge corruption allegations there. How can we be united in the midst of these things? What are we still putting things on the paper? But today, you talk about cultural impunity yesterday, but today you've been facing trial. You now see it as something that is politically motivated. You know, sometimes when people finish speaking, you sit because you support them, you just clap to this ceremony and you leave. But some of us, we keep these things because we see that almost every time some of these words are repeated. Sometimes they are repetitive. I told to take the telephone and call the next person and say, man, your old speech that gave me, I need 1 or 2 lines in it. Who in this country will not want to hear about the issue of fighting corruption? Liberians want to see things, property confiscated, restitutions taking place, setting example that people who think that this thing, that old age problem, nothing will come out of it. So they walk to power with the bravery, see any cash around, without fear, you just collect it. What are you, you're going to deny? You deny other people having drugs in hospitals, roads, and other places. People are agitating, protesting for the just benefit, salary that they work for, little money that they work for. And with time, we'll see people say they got $1 million, this investment in the country, this other still giant, but yet the people must demonstrate before they benefit from their own resources. How can we be united? How? And he said, our new president has promised that honor his leadership, those who misuse public funds. That's the part of law. He said, our new president has promised that honor his leadership, those who misuse public funds. We have no place in his government. Such person must face the full weight of the law. Where is the law? Where was the political will yesterday? This is certainly reassuring to all our countrymen and our development partners who provide important resources for our national development. Today, they are defending past and current officials of government, all the reports from the GSC and other anti-graft institutions. They are defending, no, we did not do this. These were some of the calls you asked for yesterday. The songwriter said, be mindful of what you wish for. He said many Liberians had demanded an audit of the previous government as well as prosecution of former officials of government accused of squandering public funds. And he said towards the end, the new government will conduct a review of all audits report with a view to implementing many of the recommendations contained in those various reports. The government president here has committed itself to conducting this new review of the audit reports and noted that it is encouraging. 5 words. I know some of you have forgotten, but that's what we do here. These are some of the words. These are things that people asked for yesterday. But when they are called to answer for the stewardship, you are not concerned what damage, what harm those who serve in those positions of high trust that should have made impact in your lives. You are preparing to go and defend them on the basis of politics. That you will defend your party partisan. You're not talking about defending Liberia. And after war, we went for the Nobel Peace Laureate, Manalima Bowie, to come to tell us some of the very hard truth. And when she delivered, it began a very serious problem for us. She told us some very hard truth. That we cannot be united in the midst of cultural impunity, corruption all over the place, disunity, people cannot even find food to eat. You get rich overnight and you expect the people to smile with you. We went for all. Then came Madam Polly, our 177 Independence Day speech that we nearly went for somebody. The government selected her, an academician, very astute Liberian, a female as well, who led this country because of the serial Kaiser flair, went to other countries, landed in America, and she was undocumented, fought to be documented, dedicated herself today. And after a thorough search, we said, you can come. And when she talked about us redefining ourselves, a radical agenda for reimagining or reimaging Liberia. Today, do you know how many money we now spending on to rebrand Liberia? Do you know how many money taxpayer and some people are voluntarily traveling around rebranding this country? Because look, we don't have the kind of a respect that we had yesterday. There's no if and end. We on the path, but it involves the collective effort of everybody, and with a united front and sincerity from the heart, and not to just because you think the people want to hear you talk about unity. That behind you are using all of your contact to make sure that things that benefit the people do not exist. Because since I'm not there, I will not get involved. Since I'm not there, I will make sure that these things, they do not achieve it. We were told about the resources that we got in this country, because we looked at the world superpower, and she would be saying, we have not getting as much as we expected, or we should have, from the United States, but what they have achieved from us, because we have a long-standing relationship. We did not take that in good faith. We did not take that as a reality check. Or we did that. Government quickly distanced herself for such statement. How possible can that be? These are some of the things that bring about division. You see, later the president, they spoke, and he said no, because a group of people decided to walk out. And later I went to the banquet, the dinner, We all started looking for all sorts of means, all kind of voice. But when she got through, people of yesterday who fingers were being pointed to started to hear us. That she did well. That was then some of the praises came from immediate past officials of government who were raining praises on her. But told and bullied Madalima Boy for saying some of the hard truth. This is how we got Liberia. This is how we got Liberia. So Ambassador Don, Liberians, both home and abroad and foreign residents, expect to hear the very harsh reality. Government must be commended where it is commendable. And government should be told the very hard truth where it should be said. We are of the conviction that it's time to put an end to the culture of impunity. And we are cognizant that to some extent this government must listen, this government must act, the government must engage, and this government must deliver. And put out to the thousands of excuses. You said you could fix it, get it done. Without complaint. It's going to be rough, it's not going to be rosy, but people are believing that they can see light at the end of the tunnel, that we're writing on the word that tell them tomorrow may be good, but we must be prepared to brace ourselves as resilient people on earth. And our leaders should accept some of the hard truth, regardless of who it comes from. Madam Ellie Johnson, Mr. Leaf, former Senator Barney Sherman, they fell up because you were party chairman at the time, given a chance to speak. One of our Independent Day orator, and he spoke about some how things which did not go down well with her and some of her able lieutenants. The relationship got soured today. He himself was caught up into some corruption and other things as well, got sanctioned from the U.S. Treasury Department. But he also spoke on corruption at the time that the government needed to do this, do that, and all of these things. We can't keep talking about fighting corruption at the same time talking about lifting the people out of poverty. The resources must be used for the people until we see the need as a government, as a people, and we can fight corruption holistically, diverse of politics, but on action that were taken by people who serve. We will not get there because we will always, when we sit or we're about to assume some of these positions, look, right now the biggest thing, once you call and you're in opposition, you talk about fighting corruption, that people will not go free. Liberians are willing to turn out in the numbers to have you elected. And that's why they have brought so many incompetent and inept people to power in the history of this country. Because when they are campaigning, even to be community chairman will tell you about fighting corruption. When they're campaigning to be president of university, student, government, or even grade school, running to be representative senators, they put corruption and accountability, transparency at the top of their agenda or the manifesto, what they will deliver. And when people see these things, they are happy because they have long suffered the brunt of these things. And we turn around, oh, my people, let back gonna be back, gonna let unity. Why are we still fake in this thing? We gotta redefine ourselves and know who we are. And I'm going to be talking about this thing up until July 26th. These are harsh and present day reality. We can't keep faking ourselves. Unity is not when the elites wine and dine on the same table and leave the people that you divide, the commoners. But you will sit and hold telephone and call to the man who everybody will see, your supporter will see that man is your antagonist. So you're doing everything, so your folks will do everything if possible to even harm that person, even if it leads to death or to destroy properties because they think they want to protect you. And you divide whole nation because of politics. You divide whole nation because somebody alleged to have been involved into some corrupt activity and needed to face the full weight. You make the people to understand that the people after us, and you place yourself in a category or in a class that nobody wants to see you, or the present government don't want to see anybody coming from this party or that party. Those are lies. There will be political witch hunt at times, no if and end about that. Sometimes the presidents we have had might not just be in the know, but somebody who just want to settle score on somebody. Sometimes some of the actions that are taken at ministry agencies, the president don't know. The president appoint or nominate a minister, he goes to this ministry, he's there, who listen to gossip, that one of the things that have destroyed this country, who listen to gossip and feed on gossip, which most of our leaders have fallen prey to. That, oh, the president, you guys gonna put in the ministry there, or you know, somebody right within the ministry go on to the minister are just taking over, call you, probably you've been around long, sensible enough, but now know he himself or she herself can feed on gossip, will call. So you been here, so how the ministry? When Liberia write a gossip, me look around you for you before I carry money. Just know you just get ready to listen. Thank God you not come home. We put in a typical Liberian thing. Thank God you're here around because it's not small thing. They put it. Put plenty here from the party. They for want to get brought in overnight. Sometimes with all proper investigation, you go on to dismiss people. I don't want people calling this morning to tell me say we remember day. Just you know, because when we say some of these things, you clap, you laugh. But when these things, the bullet pointed at you, that's when we are the most wicked people in Liberia. Liberia gets better. It's not just for me and my children, for all of us. But we don't see these things. What to see, you know, what kind of country in the world that the people only want to see their leader lives improve other than their lives? Who does that? You're so happy when you see the man house. Like Julia Malema, he said, he's never concerned about anybody's bank account, what's in it. He only concerned what's in his account because even if he gets to know, he's taking happy. He's not concerned about what car you drive, what house you live in. He's concerned about himself. There are things that Liberians, even in the poverty, we all can afford, no matter what. But today is difficult. That's where you see how difficult life is in Liberia. A population, as per the census report that was conducted, that was brought to 5.2, And with the resources we have in this country, there's no way so easy that we cannot afford to pay our teachers. Starting with $200, $300, $400, $500 United States dollars a month. Patrolmen in the police, the armed forces, or our state security, starting with copper. They say, look, $500 as a starter. But yet, we want to have unity with salary disparity. Look at the gap. The Minister of Finance was just talking about that just the other day. So there are too many factors why we are divided. We cannot be unified so easily until we revisit and look at some of these things and review some of our laws that will be in conformity with present day reality. We will just be fooling ourselves. We will just be fooling ourselves. Okay, let me take this short break. I'll be right back this morning.
Babu won't fight it. Babu won't fight it. Babu won't fight it. I'm on my car. Let's tell you for the market. First, the president start getting the Congress on us stop here. When they're not president, they can stop here. But when they take all power, they can stop here. Wow. So we want to, we happy to see him. You been hearing good things about the president. Yeah, we not hear it. But we tell God, thank you for him to stop here. So we tell him thank you. So what are the good things in news you've been hearing? We hear it. So many things. So many things. Because you know that a woman boy has to grow us. We don't get money to sell in a particular market. We don't get no money to help us.
So now you see the president, what can I help you? Really want
I want for the president to help us with money so we can make business. Because we make business, they see where all of you in the car. Some of our children will be there too. Because we let us send them to school. We're not be there the way we're looking now.
So you're selling here, so you're taking it for your own self farm?
We're taking it for your buy.
Okay.
We can go, we buy it, we bring it, and we sell it, we look for $500, then we send our children to school.
Alright. So you need again?
Money is starting to save on.
So what kind of message you get? You get what? Message for the president? What kind of message you get?
The president will be here and say, what I want to do for you. We want for him to help our money so we can sell. When we sell, our children will go to school. We not get no help. So they want loan, small loan. We want loan, we want money.
How much you get?
I get 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how you surviving?
I get 4.
We are very sure that we will not go back to those days. But rather, we will certainly be there for a better Liberia. And we do not need to go back to the dark days. This is Liberia. This is all we have. We have to wake up to present day reality. Too many things being said by our past orators. We listen to them, we play deaf ears on them, we clap when these things are said at the moment. but we are hurt to our bones for hearing the truth. We are so mad and bitter. Our people who tell us, we see the next thing, we attach them to opposition, like they took their speeches, they read or they deliver to one political party to go and read it there. But Madam Bowie got you speaking on the issue of our unity, on the issue of togetherness, all of these things, and said some things to opposition, imposition, no position. We went for her. She was held for a couple of minutes, and after that, I don't know, 4x2 or 2x2 or 3x8 plane were being used on her with some strong water statements. And she was being seen as somebody who was used by opposition. Dr. Polly too told us that we need to redefine ourselves and look at our history and see today where we are and where are we going. If we cannot make the amends today, if we cannot accept to correct all of the wrongs, sometimes they were right, but any government that wants to succeed, or anybody for that matter, will learn to accept corrections, some of the hard truth. So we'll see these things will come. We need to swallow sometimes the bitter pills. But we don't see these things as things that would be so good for us. We see these things as things that we're going to look at and say, look. So let's look at some of the specific project dedication that the government leading on to Saturday, according to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Ahmed Don, who served at Liberia, 178 independent orator. So there will be series of dedication ceremony across the country. Key projects in the week-long celebration. These include a modern school in Bond County. The infrastructure is great. You see it nice. The decentralized passport centers for Bond and Grand Judea counties. Where people have to travel from all the southeast part of Liberia to come, to come to central, Monrovia, or just to obtain their own national document. Mistreated with these kind of a hardship, spending thousands of dollars on the road. Now another dedication of the cash hub, Central Bank cash hub, that will serve the southeast, over there in River G. That people, for smooth transaction with local banks and all of these things. So when we start to put these things and start putting money to use, when the people start to see, nobody want to be talking about who rides a private jet. Nobody want to be concerned about who drives what car, because when they trigger that effect from the economy positively in the lives of the people are not concerned who stole what. You will be judged by other people, but the man knows, that lady knows, she gets to the market to sell pepper, but she knows the purchasing power of the people in the country. Once they are working, their salary on time, jobs are available, He has some time to wake up in the morning to go and you know, find something to do that put food on the table for he and his family, or she and her family. Liberians will not just wake up and be lined up to one lawmaker gate. Will not be to offices. Liberians, you minister director, you will not be telling people wait for me and start taking the back gate, running away, leaving them there. Some of you, before you even go to your offices, you call your office staff, or who all do I play pass them? Okay, but I'm coming down there today. You tell the poor guy, you know, I'm not coming water today, yeah? Anything, just make me informed. You know, people for me to sign, when you get it, you can't water with me, I'll show you where I will be. So, on July 23, the dedication of a modern school in Bond County by the Ministry of Education will be dedicated. On the very same day as well, July 23, they will launch the decentralization passport services in Bond and Grand Jide counties by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. On July 26, dedication of Camp Grant military barracks in Nima County. Following renovation by the Ministry of National Defense. You remember when the president spoke and talked about all of the military barracks or infrastructure during the Armed Forces Day celebration must be upgraded. So we want to say, you know, our folks who are working, who serve in the country, at least they need somewhere decent to rest after a day work or serving the country or while serving, and their family at least, that you can go there and see, yeah, places that are well presentable, decent, well accommodative for people, because these people are on the lines of defense for us. They committed no crime joining the military or joining our state security to give the kind of protection to us, that we treat them anyhow and see them as low-class citizens, that we will not pay their respect for them to fend for themselves, where to sleep, what food to eat, the medication, all of these things. We need to upgrade the standard of people who are teaching us by adding some level of dignity and respect to them. So, he said these dedications are part of a broader series of events celebrating Liberia's 178th independence anniversary, which also includes an investiture ceremony, a youth time hall meeting, and the official Independence Day ceremony. The celebration will culminate in a children's socialization day of July 27, where they will have some get-together for the children, bringing children from across the country to, you know, interact with one another, play some sports, entertainment, and all of these things. So know that they are part and parcel of the country, and they themselves have their own say as it relates to what Liberia is to be now, today, and tomorrow, or forever. So these are a lot of things that we'll be having. A lot of things. And we need our government. Yeah. So President Baga will dedicate some new schools, modern infrastructure. You see it very nice. And after, let us not just, after dedicating some of these very key and important infrastructure for the benefit of the people, we must be able to maintain them. That tomorrow, when the next government comes, or probably after the dedication, those who should have oversight to make sure that these structures being dedicated are money from taxpayer and other partners, that we do not just abandon them or do not just leave it with people to manage it, knowing fully well those people do not have the capacity when it comes to maintenance. Because you made a man principal for this school and dedicated it, yes, The building painted wall, chairs, benches, and other things are all there. And after a period of time, he started to struggle. Government will take 2-3 years before going to paint. When they tell you there's some leakages, really see, you manage, we must be able. Because of poverty, schools are out of church. Queer. Because of corruption. Teachers will buy their own crayon on the way to schools. Because of corruption and the cultural impunity, policemen will go and buy his own uniform. I was watching something earlier this morning on one channel for Nigeria. Look, I was shocked. And I hope sometimes our leaders can find means and send people on the white and sit and talk. Look, the Nigerian military sewing their uniform. You see those guys fixing bulletproof vests, even up to mine detector. And I was shocked to look at manufacturing weapons. And I kept looking at it. So one of the governors was paying a state visit to one of the barracks, and they were being drilled through with some of the officers showing what they did, facing the drone. I said, what? And all of these things. And I kept looking. And the soldiers were there sewing on the electric machine. What we see, some of the thing our riot police, anti-robbery people wear, those shields and things. And we're looking at it this morning. I said, what? When will we arrive at this place? So to build the capacity of the officers, the government will probably bring the uniform, or people who know how to tie-dye, the camouflage, the fatigue, the police uniform, the clubs. We have tailor here. Professional people. With 178, we still self-reliant on support from people. Donor reliance. 178. Food insecurity for our country. Our staple food rights. We heavily depend on importation. Like in Japan, if you find the news, the staple food like rice, people eat 2, 3, 4 times rice in Japan. But the price and the economy, because of certain problem right now, the prime minister, and yesterday was the election, and the party got some bruising results. That the coalition government, people asking him to step down, he said he will not step down, they will fix it. Because the economy. In other countries, people are taking actions collectively for national issues. In Liberia, people are using people for their personal gain. When they have this political differences with this other person or that other person, in order to show to the next man that I got control, I got the men, I got the strength, or let me make it understand I'm around, you mobilize people in their numbers. And you put them out into the streets. But people are agitating on national principle, on policy, regardless whether you come from party A or party B. That's how they are keeping the government feet to the fire. They are not running for personal gain. Today marks Donald Trump's 6 months in power since he returned. CNN, Fox, and all of these people, they are giving update. They are analyzing his achievement, his rating, Even within his political party, there are people, he got some rating. He got 42% approval, 58% disapproval from people who feel that some of the policy, CNN took a poo, and you just go and start to look at some of these things. Some of the policy, some of the things. So you see, we will drag their butt. We cannot keep being so slow. There are means to heal the wounds. And if we can just fight politics, corruption, voice of politics, that Liberians can say, look, but this thing is in the interest of our country. I understand that this man comes from a party that I support, but these allegations against these people are grave. Can we lend them the legal support that they clear their names, or we watch the process that we make sure that it is very impartial? We conclude before the case even starts. As far as we're concerned, it is politically motivated. You go to the social media, you see how folks are insulting one another, even to the dedication of some of the projects completed. I was reading one of the posts from social media. Somebody wrote that somebody said Liberians should be careful before the president rededicate the CDC headquarters. You see, sometimes you see the kind of a mindset. Then you go over there, you see other comments on it. Liberians are divided. This person don't want this person to say anything of the party or the political leader. The next thing when they start with it, they end up tearing one another parents apart, calling names. The wounds will even add more insult to the injury. The scars of our civil crisis stay on the faces of people. And we stay dividing ourselves. Our leaders. Unity cannot just be with the elite. That when we celebrating, when we say, oh yeah, national reconciliation, and call the other party leader, call the other minister, the representative, and sit down on the round table, and you leave the people in the towns and villages. You leave the young folks who you divided on the basis of politics. You told them to throw stones at other people. You told them to raise insults at other people. You asked that no matter what, when corruption should be fought, you should have it fought and achieved. But when our voice we spoke yesterday start to manifest, start to show itself, we see it as something that is politically motivated. We don't look at the real truth. We don't. And what was said also, he said, a focus on the past acts of corruption will be one means to restoring public faith in the credibility and possibility of Liberian governance. Another means is to use scarce public resources more efficiently, raise the living standard of Liberian people. Corruption is the biggest problem, and that's where we've been divided. People got killed for corruption in this country after the coup, and that's the biggest problem we are faced with, and we are divided on that because once you support a political party Nobody in that party should ever be questioned or charged or tried for allegation of corruption. We will fight it. We will give it all sorts of names. And we will protect these people. So those who are sitting waiting to come to power, they have already gotten to know that, look, once I commit this act, I will have people who will stand by me. I will take a lion's share of what belongs to the people. And I will give them peanuts and they will defend me. Ill-gotten worth, unexplained worth. The people walk past you, you walk past them. As soon as you give them one position, no. It's a different thing. It's a complete different thing. And I'll read one of the things that the former finance minister said during his independent address. He said corruption is the biggest problem. That corruption is the most major source of social, economic, and political problem that affects and afflicts negatively the total development of the Liberian nation and people, particularly during its recent past and the present prevailing. Is so self-evident and obvious that it is need no lecture nor a national oration. However, some notes for emphasis and insight into the various serious natural nature of our problem are necessary. It's a corruption, graft, greed, bribery, extortion, dishonesty, moral negligence, and a universal phenomenon. We will have corruption all over the world. We will have it. But to see it in a way and form how we're being able to find a way at the front seat, like in the words of Madam Bowie, quite recently is one of our write-outs talking about impunity and corruption. Said he has taken a glorious seat. He has taken a glorious seat into our country. So shortly I will go to the line this morning because we got a lot of other things to talk about, but this is it, and this is where we find ourselves. And Liberia is there to have better. That we do not go, and after the Independence Day celebration, when Ambassador Emmett done deliver a speech that may be so touching, truth-telling, questioning the government political will to fight corruption, and improving the lives of the people, that we take it in good faith, and do not see it as something that where people in the party will want to come and defend, because we have seen these things over and over. People who are in the party want to come and say the ambassador have not been able to see the present day reality. Probably is not informed to what's happening in the country, how this government has strived. Let us accept those words and assess it, and see the ones that we can improve on, other than defending. Because every time we go to defend, we take the actual message or the sole purpose of the celebration that we will have. Because we put more time and energy in making clarity. When Dr. Pollard delivered an address, quick, the Minister of Information and other officials in government went on to distance themselves from what was being said, because something was being said to the United States. We have to stop that. The Nigerian Foreign Minister just a couple of days, sometime last week, were being bold and said to the United States, look, we will not take anybody that you are deporting into our country. We already fighting a whole lot of crises in our country. And bringing people who are so sophisticated, committed crimes in a powerful nation of America, you bring them to Nigeria, you won't bring them on the continent of Africa. We already got our own problems that we're struggling to solve. So we cannot accept that. And that's why the president was able to make clarity in the government of Liberia that there was no destruct, because we've been hearing rumors and all sorts of things that the African leaders were being coerced or told to make sure that they bring to accept people who've been deported and they've been rejected by their own country. Their country of origin do not want to accept them. So they are taking them to other countries. Probably they say, yeah, you can take it and you can get this amount of support from us. So, but the government have officially denied that. So these are some of the things, we can just keep talking about fighting corruption. And every time one government comes to power, and on the matter of fighting corruption, people will bring them to power. And when they get there, things that they promise to fight, sometimes some of the key actors, the foot soldiers, the trusted lieutenant who will fight to bring a particular government will be the ones who will be committing some of the alleged acts. And we protect them. When you talk about it and people think that you call for all of these things today, let's take for instance what are some of the things I would say. You say the found on every continent. Corruption is found on every continent, every country, society, and culture, irrespective of political, economic development and influence. Corruption is a vice that is arguably entrenched in human nature. As such, Liberia and Liberians do have a natural monopoly of corruption. It's just in here. But recent activities and patterns of social cultural behavior of the elite and educated indicates the contrary. The Liberian government and officials have now monopolized this universal vice of the detriment of the overwhelming majority of the nation, the poor average citizens. You see, these are some of the things that were said by the previous regime. Former Minister of Finance Samuel struck Pallier homes, buy expensive luxury automobiles, and invest in personal business ventures which are regarded as national development. The guilty officials go unpunished. In fact, are rewarded with promotions. Officials and related bureaucrats hire and surround themselves with relatives, friends, cronies, and concubines. The officials are emulated by the young who see these immoral and unlawful acts as the means and the best practice in politics about acquiring wealth. These were some of the things that you said yesterday. Then we asked, pointing finger to our legislature to revisit the salary structure, their benefit as well. Talking about sectorial reform, and look at our resources in the country that have been extracted, that we see at a point now that we have a reflection of it in the lives of the people. They're building our economy. Have we learned? Have we been able to make amends to some of the things that were said? Or we are still hanging around, say, "Oh, I'm gonna go, man." So I think when she thought our business. So this is where we are today. But we are looking at some of these things. These things were said, but they continue to fail. Good morning, Pastor.
Good morning, and a pleasant welcome. It's great. And Liberia matters remain key on the agenda on the daily basis because the citizens wish to see an improved economy, the lives of the people on the pedestal, especially becoming major conversations upon. You know, this government came on the matter of fighting corruption, and that the people of this country should rest assured and give them the authority, and it's incumbent upon them to. But you always see, and that's why folks have been asking the president whether he's trying to become a weakling. We see incomplete actions taken toward folks. Some will say, okay, it has never happened before. Is this government suspending folks? But after suspension, what next? Because the Liberian poll need result, like you mentioned earlier on, people were placed on the poll, people were persecuted in this country, people were killed only because of corruption. And we still see on a wider scale in the country, and there is more that needs to be done on it, because with all of the audit reports, with all the suspensions of this government, the people of Liberia want to see more actions taken upon, because they are the ones who have been affected on a global or larger scale upon in the country. So they want to see these things happen. And it's important that the government focus on them, focus on those areas if they want to better the lives of the people, because you will do whatever you can do. If those folks will come to power, siphon the country's money, invest the country's money, the people's money, and nothing is done, and they walk away scot-free, we will still be walking in similar footpath. But Liberia want to see prosecutions. They want to see actions taken that will deter others from going a path, because it's becoming so synonymous. We complain about past government officials that they were corrupt, but it is so sad that this government, you see that there are folks who were just appointed yesterday. They are also putting their hands in the cookies jar. You remember the earlier report from the Ministry of Agriculture, more than 5 million. Imagine farmer subsidies to enhance farmers' activities across the country, procurement materials. Today the GST have conducted an audit, and they have come to a conclusion to see that some of the issues in the report are not seen. Some of the lines in the report are not of reality. For instance, about 114 farms were being supported by the World Bank. The GSC auditors went to find out, verify these things. They got to see that the 81 of those farms cannot be seen. Farmers that were given a support, more than 600,000 was given to them. They went there, some of those farms that were being in the report, those farms cannot be seen. And the GSC is asking questions about that. And these are folks who were there in the past government, and the head of institution came in this government, and these questions have been asked. Various institutions, the act of corruption continue to persist upon. What is the president doing about this? He needs to rise up, because the Liberian money can always be thrown in the dungeon. No, in the dustbin. They want results. And those who will boldly see the need that they will go and corrupt those money, they should be prosecuted. And that's the reason why one of the Senator Amara Conan, former finance minister, he's saying that though folks are saying the crowd all came out in the protest, but are those points genuine? Yes. Should the government listen to them? Yes. And he asked the government on the Anglo Unity Party that they themselves need to see the need, because Liberians are faced with those issues that have been raised by those protesters, and the government should see the need to address those issues as possible. It should not be a spontaneous issue. Government come, government go. We just people corrupt and they go scot-free. No, something needs to be done, and it's important that the government take action.
Yeah, because so we can't keep talking about corruption. It has become a cliche. We've been very repetitive in it. from one government to another, but yet we can fight it. We don't seem to have, though this government have made 1 or 2 games in suspending people, but I think we need, like the LCC chairperson have asked, we need a fast track court to handle some of the cases. So we can start having restitution and properties being seized and all of these things, and people answer for the stewardship. But we also need to understand as well that it also requires money, and you have to have substantial evidences against these people to try it, because they know how weak the system can be, they know how people defend them, they know how the society is gullible, that every small thing people think that it is politically motivated. So sometimes the actions are deliberate while serving position. They will corrupt the system, and once they know that they belong to a certain political party, people will be in solidarity with them. But you were never in solidarity when you were making, you did not steal for the people. You stole from the people. Allegedly. Robin Hood were robbing the rich to give to the poor. But even so doing, he was still stealing. But he was doing it because he saw that the poor could not help themselves, and while the rich were getting richer. So, like for instance, the president will also be dedicating 2 more than completed senior secondary school on the Liberia larger World Bank project. We're talking about around US 47 million. We don't want to hear tomorrow, we can't see the $47 million in that project World Bank. When they go do assessment again, they say, oh, they do appraisal, that, you know, the 2 structure cannot match the money that was given, material and all of these things, workmanship and all of these things. And people start to defend. No, we want to see, and we say hats up to the president and his team for taking up and completing initiatives that started from the previous government.
Sure.
Look, that's how Liberia will get developed. When you come to power, you see, that's why I kept on develop for a long period of time. We feel that every time we come to power, if we met something that was being done by the previous government that we democratically determined, that the people do not see the need to continue with the leadership in marriage, we have them giving the marching order at the ballot box. Then, but you can't, and sometimes our leaders, you get carried away by those people around you. This is where you got to be mindful, because sometimes some of the people around you will say, Mr. President, don't do that thing, When you start your own project, you know that the people elected you for you to do good for them. Let those people, they started that thing there. Let's start with the other people. Look, let's commend the previous government for some of the initiative, and let's say hats up to the current government for continuing to complete some of the projects. That even if you are done with all of what you met on the scorecard or what you met on the table, Mr. President, that when we're done with all of these things, you will find out that any project you start to initiate, you must just do it with speed, because you don't have that burden any longer on you to complete. That's how other people develop in the country. So, but we politicize everything, that you see whole lot of unfinished structure, unfinished projects across Liberia. The other presidents know, ministers, directors, superintendent, mayor, commissioner. You have gone to, you have taken over some of the offices as superintendent, as city mayor or commissioner, you know, director of other places. There are some things you saw on the table. Some of these things that the previous minister initiated, some of them were signed, needed to have started. You go there, look at these things, see how best you can talk to your predecessor. How far did we start? Where we are? Who are the contractors? How do we get, have them to complete it? Some of the ministers are doing it. I gave you a typical example of Minister Kool Bangalore. Some part of earlier this year, we had a chance to have gone to the ministry, and there was this project concerning the floodlight at the stadium, the Samarkand Sports Complex, to assess the light, whether we can have it changed, because the previous government have already got into a contract with a Ghanaian Dutch company to make, to see how best the lights could be looked at, for the country. So when we have a game, we can look at these things. So when the minister took over, he met that on his decks. And the head of the company, the Ghanaian guy, when he came to Liberia, and he was frank to tell us. He said for him, reading on Liberia and studying Liberia, most of the time it's difficult. He said when the government that he was previously about to work with, after all the assessment, and they have gone into agreement for the lights to be changed and or ones that needed to be fixed and all of these things, he said he felt that was over. They were not going to continue. The new government probably were going to look for new, team to come and put out a new bidding process. Who wins it and come, and forget about the one, whatever we spend 5, 10, 15,000 already in the air. Nobody cares, because that's how we waste government money. When people tell we waste for, we don't even look at the cost.
Sure.
How much money so far we have placed upon into this project that we want to almost let go to start over, want new people to come. Can we continue with these people? These are some of the problems that we are divided. So when it comes, unity Benin again. Oh, Liberia, we are one. Right after the ceremony, we are divided.
We're divided.
So what the minister did, Councillor Bangalore, he placed a call, and the full speaker, they invited the Liberia window. So I asked the minister, I said, but why? He said, no, when I came, I saw that we have already started with the problem with the people, and we have spent, the previous government already spent some money, so there was no need of us going to cancel contracts and start looking for a new set of people. So, and I left that, I said, but if some of your colleagues can actually look on the book and see some of these things and emulate some of the good examples, trust me, we will get there, we achieve a whole lot.
Sure.
But when we start to leave people projects and jump on our own and become the basis of
if you don't finish, another government can say, but I mean,
but the reason we got unfinished projects all across Liberia, that's the reason. Because on the basis of politics, everybody think that doing it, you will be giving glory to the person who started it. And that should be the case. Everything will have a brainchild. Every project that been completed will always have a foundation.
Sure.
So if the CDC led government started some things that is beneficiary to the Liberian people, and the government say waft it or completing it, that will come back, because if President Baga leaves tomorrow, he's not going to claim that building, those schools as his personal property, that World Bank project. Yeah. So why not we continue with it? Some of the roads, some of the dedication that is taking place. Renovation of the barrack there in Nima, the Camp Grant military barracks, after the president stated on renovation of all military infrastructure across the country. You see what's happening? We need to give our people the first things. Boost the morale. Make them look, so important in the eyes of the family and not see themselves as curse. It's time for our resources to work for all. Let's see it as a blessing and not curse. 0775-919-919. 0880-919-919. Just go to the point. Forget about how we made a day, because for us right now, all the things I'm talking, tell nobody when they finger at the other person who they were involved in this, that. You will say, oh yes, but we're talking Liberia. We're not talking any other thing. We're talking Liberia. We are about to celebrate 178. Our previous orators, there were a lot of things they said, but have we been able to achieve it? Or we're preparing ourselves again to bully, to tear apart the next man who about to address us on Saturday, that he comes from opposition, or he was the news, or he's blindfolded and cannot see all of the good things in Liberia. You are the judges out there, and you will give your own assessment. Your life.
Good morning, Weekie.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is Prince Moino calling from the Singapore.
Prince, you welcome.
Yeah. Thank you for for the topic of discussion this morning with you. See, our leaders in the country, they don't have love for our country. Because if government can come and start projects, it not end by where the next government is supposed to come and complete it before you can almost take a home project. But they will want to do it as if to say that their own money they are spending, because they will waste government money, take their own food. At the end of the day, then they get nothing to live with the people. So I ask the Liberian people, we need to come together and build our country. This country is for us, it's not for nobody. We can be deported from here. I just listened to a good news that they are going to break ground. They are going to decentralize the passport center for Bond County and Grand East.
Yeah.
People from the southeastern.
Yeah, that's why, and there also be a cash hub to help other commercial bank in the southeastern region. There, you know, we have to decentralize money. That we don't put the cost too much on our people. But these are the things we've been talking. At least some of these things coming to fruition now.
Yeah, at least they will be okay for us. For me, I'm from Grand East. I pay my way to come in time for passport. What money I will be getting? If I bring $40 for passport, then I pay my way 10,000. I'm not leaving for the passport again. I will not get passport. I gotta go back again also.
Thank you, thank you. Let's talk to other callers. You live. Okay.
Good morning. Don't hold the line.
Yeah, don't hold the line. You know. So when we start to see some of these things come into fruition, look, we don't put politics in it. Yeah, look at it, because people will be, like we said, people will be saving a lot of money. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Bishop. I go from Red Light.
Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, you guys take your time to explain some of the things to us as a citizen. But after you guys have spent all that time to explain, we'll go back to our political party's headquarters and inform a lot of information and disregard all the good things you have said that can unify this nation. One thing ourselves in terms of unity that you were talking about, I haven't seen since the ascendance of this government to see the former leader, this former president, take back to some of these programs and attending some of these programs. I don't know what they're saying. They do the same invitation and down to the invitation.
Yeah, because you know we also have been asking, but on one or two occasions, the former president Ellen Johnson Sirleaf agrees some of the. But we see that the immediate past president, most of the time, probably he has not been extended invitation, but nobody wants to state it to us. But when you ask, people don't want to answer, except there is some level of allegation on poor name, then they want to make clarity on these things.
Yeah, because this thing brings unity. Because if I see my political leader church, we are attending some of this program, we know that the country is moving forward. But some of us will say, no, president, don't go there. If we're not ready. And then go again, one of the last thing I want to stress on is that this delegation of units of buildings that was done by the previous government is good. These are the things I just couldn't share on Facebook a few days ago. And I said, no, they give me you know where I made a project. Yes, no problem. That's Liberia. Let him continue whatsoever. Even early regime that project was not completed, let him continue. That's the same development we are talking about. So thank you very much, brother.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Let's hear you. You're live.
Good morning, Information Book, and good morning, Historian Bar.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, what's the go ahead?
Can Liberia Cancer Party business and put development first? Yes, it can be. Nothing is possible. If we Cancer Party and put development first, definitely what you people say can happen. If this man started a project, this party, obviously this government, the last government started a project, and the incoming government can start, it can still continue. But we all want to carry the name of ourselves, of our government, and we're forgetting to know it got impact on the nation Liberia. You're sitting there as the president, whosoever, you're not serving as our household to be a representative or senator at your home. You representative of a nation. You president of a nation. So once you start a project of the country, that means another development about to pick up. Like the other projects that the former government has started. And now, the big energy, you are taking over. This government is taking over. it's easy that the government take over and start the project to end it. No matter what it takes, your name will still be glorified. But if you start another project and you end it, it will be taken off. Let's take an example. It will be taken off. The men are coming that will not want end yours. This is what development always be popping. We'll get a lot of broken things in the country. But to conclude, we need to start what the government starts and begin for a good project and development into Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for being part of the conversation this morning.
Mr. Scotty, good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning,
Good morning.
I will ask one question. All the development are going on. Is it a money project? That money started like a foundation. But what is that? In one project beside COVID, coronavirus, according to his very self, is a coronavirus that was a project. So what started project do in that STD complex they put it in? JJ Ramos started project in this country. Other president, they started their own setting. So I won't let the citizen know today that I'm money started in Liberal Foundation. Every president got their own impact. They got their own thing to do. So then I erase that from their mama. Their project is Liberal, not a foundation. He never the one that started Liberal Foundation. You'll take you the money.
You're welcome.
Thank you for being part of the conversation this morning. Let's hear for Liberians. We are gradually getting to Saturday, and we need to talk about some of these things. Good morning. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you for the topic this morning. Sometimes we state and look at some of the things that are happening in Liberia. So now we're seeing that the country has not going back. Because the politicians with that kind of plan and step, do a lot of things for people over there. First of all, I'm putting that work because we call human. Yeah, but the country has shown now you get a citizen. In terms of reconciliation, people coming on to say the country now we're going to start because you the so recent. Sometimes I sit down and take for what we are going. Thank you for the topic this morning, man.
You're live.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Fufi. I'm calling from the borough.
Go ahead, Fufi.
Yeah, my brother, every day we put money in our phone. You guys on the radio, you're talking, educating us, informing the citizens of this country with listening about the attitude of our government officials, the past officials, the present officials. It's just the kind of situation that, bro, what I look at us to be like, my brother, this country, we have to learn and put to forget. The same corruption thing here, it was the reason of corruption was the reason why 16 men were laid on the post and executed openly in this country. 250,000 people were killed in this country through a revolutionary operation, and corruption was part of it. Again, we're looking at the 16 billion, 25 million mobile operation, this, that, all those kind of things. You got few people there acting the country. Let it stop. Let it stop. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for being part of the conversation. Let me talk to other callers. On the line, we are here. Good morning. Move over for your radio.
Yeah, I'm Daniel calling from Israel.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to check. Thank you. Let me confess something today. Around our area here, when the protests were going on with us on Gaza, they're going to do the one. But one person was trying to educate the youth as well, not listening. But as soon as the thing on the Kool, and the whole you people are fighting, people have to go, and the people walk in church, so we expect them to take They pull by the horn like how cool everything trying to educate people. So I just want to tell you guys, thank you for the show and thank you.
Okay, let's take this one from there. We'll go for our break. We'll come back, we'll take a few more calls and talk about something else. Good morning, sir.
Yeah, this is Winston, and I know you from Duke Roads.
Please go ahead, Winston.
Yeah, thank you for your show this morning. I will always call to adore you guys for bringing an issue to our doorsteps. You know, the issue of project, government projects. You know, generally we're going to classify any other projects that is not taken, any other project that is not taken by government to be a government project, wheresoever it was initiated by the past government and the government is taking over and it is going to be delegated. It should be acknowledged that the past government started this, but they were not able because of time, and we are completing it and dedicating it. It should be acknowledged. That's the only way people will erase the man of this is my project or this is that person's project. What you mean my project? It's not personal. It's the resources from the government, taxpayers' money you're using. So why it is true that we are from the background of the Unity Party for any project that is being started by any other government past leadership, you have to acknowledge it before dedication. I want to applaud President Joseph Yuma Bouaka for that secondary school in Bonkante and Nimba that is to be dedicated very soon. You know, this should be in the front of vocational school that our people will go and learn something to be capacitated in time to come so that if they graduate from there, will go on to the job market and find something to be doing. Not everybody will go to tertiary school, not everybody will go to primary school and learn something. But when you get in vocational school, I think it will help a lot. Thank you for allowing me to end on.
Thank you. Let's go for this morning and take our commercial. From there, we come back and we will continue with the disco on take more calls and talk about some very sensitive things this morning.
My people, I know you already hear the good news, and so
what kind of good news, Balepa?
The good news about the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection project called the Liberia Women Empowerment Project, or LWEP, is here to help 267,200 people.
Oh yes!
Out of the 267,200 people that the project will reach, they will help 36,000 women with small money for themselves. Oh, the main idea there is to make sure that women and girls always have money on them, so they can be able to help themselves, so they can be able to help their men or their husband, their family, and their community.
Yes, it makes sense because you can only give when you have.
That's true, but the project you're talking about, that what kind of county there in?
The project in 6 counties: Bomi, Riverside, Grand Jide, Monserrado, Bapodu, and Grand Cape Mount counties.
Okay.
And it going on in 498 different communities in those counties.
Yeah. So how they better doing the project?
The project, yeah, in 5 different ways. Number 1 is changing mindset or norms.
Tell us about that one.
Good. For example, men beating a woman not supposed to go to school. Then so women can say, if he not be me, he not love me. That kind of thing. That is they want us to change.
Yeah. Because no man supposed to beat their woman.
Yeah.
Then men should make sure women go to school. And no woman must say, if he not be me, he not like me.
Yeah.
No woman must think like that. Say, it's not correct.
It's not correct.
Then what about the second part?
The second part of the project is about the health recording.
But what did the data people then not do?
How they should help women and girls who may do wrong thing to.
You mean the way the tattoo people will take care of us when men take advantage over us in it?
Yes! On top of that, they even going to help schools to open health clubs so girls can be able to talk the things that matter to them.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
How about part 3 now?
Part 3 is where the project will give some money to help different women and girls groups, like village saving groups, family groups, livelihood groups, people who get their late table marketing. And people who not fit to take, who cannot they set, the quick people call them marginalized group. And you know, like people who can walk group and things like that. All of them, they will benefit too.
Me, I will look around in my community.
Yeah, Osia. I myself will find them and be a part of them too.
Yeah, you mean? Because women will not leave men behind. Here we go.
Because you know what? The project will reach 30% men and 70% women.
See, you hear it?
Yeah.
You mean I will tell plenty other women and girls so they can join the project.
That's the Liberia Women Empowerment Project, where women are helped so they can always have money in their beds.
Then, Baleba, what the other part of the project will do?
This other part of the project is where the project will give helping hand to the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection System.
How?
In ways that the ministry will have records on gender-based violence cases. Then they will also have record on the different treatment or services for women and girls who some men will do bad things to.
Okay.
Then it will also help the Ministry of Agriculture to know how many women making farm, how many men making farm, where they making their farm.
Wow.
What kind of farm they making, where low land farm air, where up land farm air, all that one there.
Yeah.
Yo, what they planting, what county they having the farm in.
Fine idea.
Check all that one. Yo, to make sure that all the things are happy. The government put plenty different groups together. Like Keep Liberia, Catholic Relief Services, CRS, Action Aid, Forest Community Initiative, FCR, Defense for Children International, DCR, Plan International.
So they can work with the people in the community then.
Yes! And you know something? The way they plenty groups together, one group they have to be in from all the other groups so the project can go on.
So now what kind of group they have?
Plan International.
Plan International. They in front the other group then, but the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection Project. And so?
Yes!
So your will, how about part 5 of the project now?
Part 5 of the project is where the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection has a project management unit that the people then who will be watching the project could know.
Yeah.
They will monitor the project, they will keep track of the project, and they will evaluate the project so the project can go on the correct way.
Whoa! Who take the 6,000 women to benefit from 80 million? Ha! That's small thing.
And Dana Osia, Balekba says the Liberia Women Empowerment Project will reach 267,200 people in 5 years.
Yes! And the project is in 6 counties. Pony, Mosorado, Bakolu, Rewoses, Quenchida, and Quenchima County.
Working in 498 communities.
Yes. Now, the way the project going on, you can call 44TDTD to tell the people how you feel about the project. Whether it's going on the correct way, whether it's not going on the correct way, call 44TDTD so the people can know how you feel about the project.
My people, find the Liberia Women Empowerment Project right in your community and join them.
This message is from the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection with support from the World Bank.
So far.
What the babu on again? Okay. All right. So you see marketers. We have a lot of government officials. We have other officials here who are buying some vegetables and.
On to our next talking point this morning, but this is it. I like to say happy pre-independence celebration to all of you, our regular viewer, listeners, followers as well, and to Liberians, both home and abroad, and our foreign residents in Liberia. This is a home of hospitality. We always, our arms are open, but this is the morning ride. Certainly here this morning.
Do I my own and my young people, gotta stop it, lose it.
Some officials are here buying some items, and you can see all of them.
So we see the
Minister of State of Fact portfolio.
at the market here as well. Minister, are you here to get some items on behalf of the president or what?
No, I'm here to buy on behalf of my household.
Support the LMA. All right. So you are patronizing the business of this market women?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay, that's good. So, all right. So that's a moment of spirit, but the president is here too. In Banga City. What is it?
Gio this month and I'll do it join from Robafia resident, particularly in Burmastown.
Okay.
So yeah, I listened to your conversation this morning and one of the callers made a point concerning the invitation of the president, or the former president. So that drew my attention to the attitude of our current president. Sometimes I wonder if there's a personal issue between George Weah and Joseph Walker. Because I really believe that sometimes he can be extending an invitation. One of my evidences here had to do with the presentation of President Walker at the UN Security Council. Could you imagine? He mentioned the name of Joseph Jenkins Rabo up to Ellen Sirleaf, and he did not mention the name of George Weah that started this process. Imagine that. So sometimes it plays on me, and then I really wonder if there are personal issues that have to do with Joseph Walker and George Weah. Well, how be it? That's the case. Thank you for the process.
Let's talk to other callers. Your life.
Well, and Weekie morning for a good, brilliant topic this morning. You know, our system, the way we move it, is the problem with our setting in our opponents. That everybody they want to show off that they do something tangible. And what is next, they can't even go about it. To the issue about extending invitation to the president, we always hear when Cyril Vesperniati went to Mr. Weah and told him to join us that he should fight for the seat. He said no. He said no. So who know whether the invitation and turn it down? So many times we should be saying, oh, the president did not send invitation. We behind the closed door to know what is taking place. But after they get invitation to the CDC, they return it down. Thank you.
Okay, all right. But we're talking about unity, culture, rapidity, all of these things. So let's talk to this caller. You live.
Good morning, Mr. Brooks.
Good morning, sir.
This is Matt Carlo calling from the GS Road this morning.
Now you welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the point on the discussion this morning. But I want to ask a question, please. How is the selection of the orator done for such a program?
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the government got a vetting committee. They got people to look at your track record. Sometimes they'll put it up, but they got people who will look and see that and have you selected. That's all.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. 0775-919-919, 0880-919-919. Let's go to this caller on the line. Good morning. Okay, you're not prepared, don't get on the line and don't hold the line as well. So we need to understand some of these things when we are getting, into these matters as well. So let's talk to other callers this morning. I'll take you more. Good morning. It's not possible to have you on the line. It's not possible to have you on the line at the same time, with a terrible feedback. We don't do that. Let me talk to this caller on the line. Good morning.
Good morning.
Very difficult people to understand. I'll take just 2 more calls because, but I think Liberians are willing and prepared to understand and, learn from some of these things. So we are what we are today because of some of the things. Liberians, this is something that is very serious in our country. We tend to overlook a lot of things, and some of these things are creeping on with us.
Are not affecting us.
Yeah, let me talk to Mr. Smart on the line this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Weekie. Good morning, Liberia, and I don't know what's happening to my man Nath, but good morning.
Good morning, sir.
You're conspicuously quiet. We drawing into what you're saying. I want to first of all thank you and Nath for the topic, but we really need honest and true reconciliation. I say this to say, I've been watching the paradigm. When they had the funeral of President O, my friend and brother George Weah, former president, His Excellency, went to the Doe family and said he was not going to be in country. At the same time, he was at the Clawia graduation for its institution graduates. Fast forward to the funeral of the reburial of the 13 persons along with all those other killed from April 12th to after April 22nd, because we don't know the exact time that Vanny Dempster and Adolphus Benedict Hall were executed. Howbeit, something happened at that program. President Boyka arrived, and President Boyka sat in a convoy in his car with his wife for more than 15 minutes. Protocol was waiting for President Weah to arrive. President Weah never showed up. When we got to the Baptist Seminary, the chairman of the CDC, Jangaku, informed me that he was giving a wreath to lay on the remains of those who were being reburied. I told him I was responsible for security, but I was not responsible for the protocol. So I liaised with the protocol. Okay? Later on during the program, the former Vice President, Her Excellency, my sister, Joa Howard Taylor, arrived. And she paid the tribute on behalf of the former president and herself. But let me tell you, Joa Howard is a member by extension of the Torber family. Or Auntie Lucia Giddings is the child, or was the child, of William R. Torber Sr. And Joel, Noel, Sandra, all of us, we practically grew up in Bensonville. So, I was stunned. But we need serious healing. President Weah and President Weah needs to come together and exhibit leadership qualities. They need to hold hands, walk the streets of Monrovia, so that citizens and unity partisans can know that we are not at war. I'll give you an example. When Mr. Taylor, who fought war in this country, when he came to power, he sat down and he told his
Yeah, and her son got a job. The late
Charles was working not only at the Central Bank. Let me tell you, he was working with Honorable Charles Gray. And how come he ended up at Housing and Savings Bank? Because Gray had been president of Housing and Savings Bank, and Charles was there with him. It was Charles who pushed. It was Gray who pushed Charles. Charles was a brother to me. You know, we need to come together. This country is too small for this fighting. And it's going down to the population. Everything now in this country is on partisan line. People are no longer nationalistic. We need to change that trend. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's a point.
Yeah, and that's why sometimes we say these things to people. People think that we just need to play politics with almost everything. Look, our leaders sometimes have to lead with example, because the way they present themselves in the public, that's how the people get divided. That the other person, you want to see our Senate man, you want to see our own man, and you know, sometimes some of these things are political. Don't mind the president. Like I said before, all of our presidents, there are some things people did on behalf of them that they were never in the know. So sometimes we just shift the blame on it and things like that. Sometimes the president don't control the protocol.
No.
They've been told that Mr. President, that look, you or Madam President, you are to attend this program at so time. But you know, at times
this is why you will do that.
Yeah.
He knew the purpose of the program and what he would do. And there are others who will be there. He said, well, who will be there? This day they inform him.
But you all, before the 2018 election, when former President George Weah was seen in Banga during the groundbreaking ceremony for the Banga to Common Highway, when was seen just around that time, we were talking about campaign business, getting into the heat of campaign whatsoever, and everybody thought that, and the former president stated that she said she was not the protocol of the people who were going to know who are attending, who not attending. She got there and she saw the former president, but then he was not president, met the political leader of the CDC with his trouble. She had her trouble, but she was being torn apart, bullied by her folks. Though we understand behind the scenes, sometimes these things are deliberate and say, no, not me and the president would not, but I think sometimes we need to smoke the peace pipe. And when we talk about unity, let us take it from within and not just
let it be a reality.
Yeah, and we should not see certain class of people as the people. While it's true, we will all be happy to see President Weah, former President Weah, and President Barker walk the street. We should also take into consideration that they got to do it with sincerity. And they need to come up and speak to the people. Look, say one thing, you people are Liberians. You have brothers, you have sisters. You are relatives. So regardless of our political differences, let's see the bigger picture called Liberia. But if you just collect the elite and set it on one table in the name of 5, 10, 15 or 20 person, go in one boardroom, put the serve yourself, they get the wine, the popping champagne, and the laugh and say the reconciliation of the country, we will continue to spend money wastefully and will never achieve reconciliation. Reconciliation should be in the town and the villages, that people can see and say, look, you my brother Hawk, and be sincere. And well, our leaders will take the lead and try, but not when you call William Bugs, you call Joe Smart, Nathaniel Rivera, sit down on one table and say, yeah, you're talking about live. Man, you know that. Oh, yeah, I forgot that. Then you leave the people who, because of you, they are divided.
Yeah.
They did not get divided on their own.
You see, let be holistic in this process.
Yeah, and
let be sincere.
You see, every day we talk about this thing. We talk about this thing. Every day we talk about this thing, And we continue to see these things happening into our country. You know, I think you saw that video quite recently, some part of last week, that we saw a lady who would arrive from Bangkok, Thailand, on a flight on Kenyan Airways to Liberia with a cocaine worth over 181,000 United States dollars, talking about around 36 million plus Liberian dollars. And there are scores of women right now who are planning. They said the government's like currently on the fight against drugs. And And it's serious. This is serious. According to what she explained, I'm watching the video, you see the suitcases, they're taking, the shite, they want, if they eat all the deep, you go to buy the shite, new shite in a plastic, folded well, but they had the plates all in it. Taking all of these things. Now, what she's saying now, because it says she's a resident of Congo Time, they call her Kwita Koso Dolo. She was arrested, though, according to the report, the investigation that she had already passed custom, immigration, but the Rawa International Airport detachment of the LDA folks there noticed some suspicious. They said, no, but we need to do a thorough search. Maybe imagine, sometimes some of these things when we're talking, I think the guys can be listening. I always watching these things and see how people carry on search and all the other things. So when I really look at it, I say, okay, I think the guys listening to know how how we are encountering this in huge quantity. Because you just see suitcase, you take one, you see some shirts, and you look at it, people are searching people, somebody shoes, synagogues, the heels of these things. We are not sophisticated enough with electronic gadgets to detect, but at least when we boost the morale, and we always call the government, women are crying today now, they are planning, whether from the legislature, whether from the ministry, angle or agency, mothers who are planning to take to the street, they want to take the matter into their own hands and call government attention, and not just saying it because we are losing.
And Ambassador, it was good that the president even saw this. He acknowledged the protest, what was going on. The other young guy was brave to say, and he even, while trying to authenticate the dealings of his past government that he supported, he also damaged them. That during the government he was selling drugs. But now the Joseph Bogan-led government had made his no longer a dealer. He had lost a lot in getting money by what you're depending on. Yeah. So because of that, he go to protest.
Because he don't have that will. You see, so when we try to open up the society and create jobs, build the capacity of young people, start with meaningful and contributing citizens to the country, we will not experience all of these things. Now see this. That's why we've been giving pieces of advice over the period of time. And this could be true because we are seeing people falling prey like this. Now, as parents, we always want to put ourselves knowingly or unknowingly as counsel of people, which is not bad. She was arrested. She said she was deceived by one Nigerian fellow who, by the name or Henry Aki. She's 39 years old and she was identified as Kwita Koso Dolo, trafficking a significant quantity of drugs, which is cocaine. At approximately 6, the suspect Dolo, a resident, she was arrested shortly after arriving on Kenya Airway from Nairobi, transiting from Bangkok, Thailand. And during the search, according, she had already passed through custom and immigration, but the FDA officers powdery substance consumed in her luggage, and the substance was tested by LDA laboratory technicians, and it was confirmed that it was cocaine, weighing 3.355 kilograms. The street value of it, now we've been told, is 181,000 plus United States dollars, about 36 million plus Liberian dollars. Now, in her statement, according to her, what she said that she was contacted by a long-time friend known as Henry Aki. So if you know him a long time, you don't know some of the dealings he in, but well, we can tell. According to her, a Nigerian national residing in Nigeria. So she said Aki instructed her to collect a suitcase from one of his associates in Thailand and transport it to Monrovia to bring it here. So she collected it unaware of what was in it as far as she was concerned. So she managed to reach all the way on the side. And the drugs, according to her, was told it only contained chlorine. So she was told to give or to deliver the suitcase to one man in Monrovia identified as Obi, another Nigerian man again. So when she was apprehended, around 1:30 a.m., this Obi man now, believed to be Tuni Obi, a 38-year-old Nigerian who was the brother of, according to the investigation, the brother to Henry Ike. The DA officer said he attempted to bribe them at RA to secure the release of the suitcase and that of Madame Dolo. And he was immediately arrested and it is now in the custody of the LDA ongoing investigation along with Dolo. We don't want to hear again this man. We can't find him. And this woman was released overnight. Let's just stand up an example on this other matter. Because mothers are crying. Look, about that arrest, something that shocked me. One of our colleagues that we spent years together working here, Alita Vivian Kool, she wrote a piece on the social media network. She said, people don't know, and she was being clear. She said, I'm a direct victim of the drugs in this country. She said, people don't know. People think I only got one son. I got 2 children, all 2 of them are males. My first son was sophomore in the United Netherlands University when he dropped out after falling prey to some of these harmful substances. Today, every day she received threats. Your son this, your son do that. And she said she will join the march because she was a direct victim. We can't keep just talking about these things.
You know, Ambassador, to be frank with you, this government shot themselves in the leg on a serious note. I'll be bold. When they started this fight, a lot of the folks in this country supported them. Though not all, especially when they brought on Ibi Krumah, Colonel, the likes of Kool as administrator, Fadiga, all those folks, Liberians, even the motorcyclists. If I tell you something, Ambassador, even the put I was selling drugs, that same day they changed. Because they said we know Ibi Krumah. When you're in the police, we know him. When he say you both should not move on this route and you are there caught, you get a penalty of that. There were folks who were even smoking, say I will change, or I will change my clothes. There was some level, but then where the top turn around, we started seeing that those folks at the level of the LDA started to fight among themselves, either power struggle or some misunderstanding of instructions carried on, or ambiguity, or some level of selfishness or jealousy. We just don't understand. And since that suspension, when the deputy in the institution took over, the entire fight against drugs has gone down. It is good that recently we saw the lawmaker of Nima County, his son Peach Bility, being sent to jail. They said he served some months into detention process.
Yeah, he with his right
up to 8 months,
but 4 years. The other
4 years.
It should have been 20 years.
Yeah.
But when we start to do these things, even if we give him 1 year, and do not place anybody to say because this person is related to this person, so we'll bend the justice, we'll close our eyes on it, the person will go scot-free, or overnight we'll ship them out of Liberia. When we start to set some very hard examples, set from hard standard, because if you look at things, the way we have handled critical national issues that normally confront us and brand our image in a negative form to the outside world, we don't do nothing about it. We saw $100 million worth of drugs that today stick out a dark image on our country that we could not even handle a single person. We were concerned how to get money to the extent when the guys were acquitted, because the court will now manufacture evidences against people. When the prosecuting team will carry out what the people will see, when it is not substantial enough, the people will walk scot-free, and we saw that. Money that were seized during the search and seizure to just move from Freeport or wherever to Central Bank, The 200,000, 30,000 got missing from the money. At the end of the day, when they went for the money on the code route, that people were the send guys who were alleged to be the traffickers of the drugs were free. They went. Central Bank only gave a note or delivered note of 170,000 that they received, and the guys collected that money today. We don't even know the whereabouts of any one of them, and we continue to see right after 40 million again. Today we still getting bold water side, do the other point, RIA, you know. We need to sit and have the technical people on board. People that will be vetted thoroughly, that you know with impeccable character and can be well paid to handle some of these things. And this could be a life lesson to some of you who traveling. You gotta bring people. There how you people can just open up to just anybody at times. When you people outside Liberia, there are so many people who have gone to jail innocently, who have traveled out of this country. Their family have never heard about them. All the things that they have abandoned the family, the person has abandoned them here. Some of them are in jail.
Yeah.
Some of them have already been killed. Places like Thailand, Malaysia, China, Hong Kong, other places, those people got strict laws when it comes to issue of drugs. They execute. They got no sorry mind. And they stay with that. Sometimes we go in, right at the airport, you see somebody, the man knows, just trying to test and know whether when you give it to you, when you log it to pass, then he can get it for you. You tell the people must bear now, go to the Bible. Then you carry it, and when you tell the people, no, it is not mine, no way you can defend it, you can show that it is not yours. Because the man no longer, or the woman no longer to be seen. And you, you know. So we got to be careful. We have to be careful. That's what even my little boy was going to America, I told him, I said, you don't even try to do anything good for anybody over there. Don't let nobody tell you, say, please hold my bag, my handkerchief. Look at it here, let me go and come back. Or hold my cell phone, because they can put it in all set of phone. Tell them no.
Carry the clue for me.
They carry the clue for me. The people can soak the thing. They got it. Somebody put it in the cutter. They put it in all sort of way. You see people will sit down and take out the whole pair of shoe. Take out the bottom. And put those things in that and seal it. You see the man wearing shoes. We don't have the kind of a technical gadget to detect some of these things. So the people can normally walk and bring these things. Look at the other guy. I think it was in Thailand or Malaysia or somewhere the other time. Because, you know, the Western people or some of the people, the Asian people, they kind of ahead the guy. The guy caught his head in the middle. Sabu and took the cooking and put it into the weed cap, and just set it and it fit right into the cycle how he caught his head. And you see his head, yeah, how the man's head looked like.
Well, a different thing.
But it was detected and they took it from there. We don't have some of those things. Because manually, now how we're doing search, we don't have the kind of scanner to look at these things. The conveyor belt, you see all of the suitcases and people luggage going that you can see something, or we don't even have at the age and time 178, we're about to 10. We don't even have the slimmest dogs.
Yeah.
The police should be even having that by this time. FDA should be having that. Train them.
I'm not even not talking. I said before you go low.
So what eat it? You are the best thing people that you know.
Because I've seen a good meat.
When they fucking eat dog, you got bring down a bulldog or
So the
pet bull or something.
You know, I hear the agency is saying that the Liberia should help them assist in this fight, but they themselves say this to them clean. They are undermining the very fight. Because the sincerity and trust that should be in this fight, they compromise themselves. And this is hurting the country. It's hurting them. Why we say, oh, government this, we say citizen this, even the enforcers or the institutions. Look, the very moment when the lives of Ebi Kroma, Fadiga, Bauko side to fight, We can undermine the fight. I told you that the day they appointed those people, there were people who were selling drugs decided to change. Because they said they know the people then. Where did the tie? Where? Because it was one of the sweetest messages on the lips of this government that, oh yes, they accuse the past government of those bringing in narcotic substance, the drugs, the kush, the cocaine, the tar, or the market, whatsoever they call it, white woman and all. So the government came, like brother, looking forward to that. But just within a twinkling of an eye, the entire fight, it was so dead.
And the reason just simple, and we have always said this: politics, politics, politics. And we make so many things comical. We don't look at the root cause. We don't look at how the effect it's having on the next generation. How many good people that we are losing today on a daily basis. All the heavy downpour of rain. Go to various cemeteries. You find our brothers and sisters are sleeping comfortably in those places. Imagine somebody will look at a place where dead people are resting after departing the earth. We'll see that place as somewhere so nice to be. We'll open some of the vaults, some of the tombs, and can lie in it and feel comfortable. Giving birth to children that will never know them as the mother or father tomorrow. But when these things start, we make some other aim, we make it comical. We say, the other government brought the other drugs. Oh, the other government. So the politics, to the extent that critical national issue to handle, we see it as some of fun making things. When they kush low, I put them back kush low, zombie, start to die, and you know. And all of the name when you say, well, hey, you know, every jiggy bring that under drugs now.
Yeah. You know, she's about to bring under drugs.
Yes. Why would you play politics with everything now to the extent that even if it's killing us, I mean, it's so difficult to handle. Just imagine, we sat in this country. Some of all we know about it, we read about it, long time. The issue of Ebola, look at when Ebola came in the country. They said, oh, a woman called Madame Seli, and what kind of woman said? They said she came from Ghana.
Queen Sheba,
they said that woman.
She rapping,
yeah.
She came up barefoot.
She came, yeah, that she brought it, or Madame Seli went to the UN, you know, all type of myths were being told. Madame Seli that to make money. And so we tell them, not real man. Until we saw almost a whole village went away. Traditional parties that people say, just stop, don't wait. They do a failure. They say, no, they still work once people die. When we start getting serious now, we got to know that sickness was real. We start dying, our doctor and nurses who are there to protect us, we're still playing politics with it. Say that the current government bringing drugs. When the next bill go against it, that the other government bringing drugs, finger will be pointed to people in this, particular government. Say, but the people are bringing the drugs, they read there, they in government. We leave all of these things, Ambassador. We leave all of these things. All we care about, politics, and I will tell you, we don't know when we will actually solve some of the major problems.
And Ambassador,
again,
on the larger scale,
the University of Liberia Faculty Association have threatened, they have given 1 month ultimatum to the university
the people who say
to pay their arrears.
They say that this is itself and the protests are going on. The next day they were the one protesting.
Yeah,
they saw a roadblock.
You know, on pay arrear and poor conditions. These are things that we'll be looking at. But we wake up in the morning, critical national issues, people will want to score political goals, we put people together in the street. These are what they call. That must be the dress. The issue of drugs. Our universities. The state cannot be in a kind of foreign manner.
Yeah.
Why individuals who are in the government, past and present, their structures are running smoothly and far better with stable electricity,
not government,
internet, and not government. What are the problems? We take it forever so long to fight the one drug issues. To the extent some of the same folks from the university have already fallen prey to it. Some of them have dropped because they see drug business.
And even the mothers that are
saying, people are even taking some of these things on the campuses.
They are saying that they go get on the street. Mind you, their children are some of those involved.
Yeah.
They are dealing. They are the importers, they are the transporters, and they are being affected also too. Then tomorrow, when there are stringent measures taken on people, they will go there and start to plead for those people.
And of recent, to some extent, to our mothers, some of your peers are the one being used out of illiteracy, poverty. They are the one transporting. They are the one people are using.
Yeah.
Look at the case of this woman from back home with the story that she's giving us.
But today, yeah,
there's some other ladies who've been arrested in recent time from the Bowater side, from other places, in possession of these things, marijuana and other harmful substances.
The woman 39 years old, don't smoke, yeah? She's having children. But she wasn't involved in the kind of thing. The man who there to 38 years old, he got children.
Yeah.
You see? So, look, Ambassador.
Until we can put all hands on deck and don't politicize some of these things, because they fight. It's no one government fight. They fight. It's a collective fight. It's difficult to see a single family will tell you that they are not affected by this thing.
Mm-hmm.
By extinction or internally, you are affected. So if you think you got your two children who well off, they are not into the bar habits, they go to school, come to school, they indulge, but don't forget they got friends.
Yeah.
Some of the friends they went into school with, when them people are falling prey or being victimized by some of the harmful substances that they're consuming, they will be at your gates waiting for their friends. They will go to the offices.
Sure.
Those people become state burden. And we must be able to handle this matter. Don't say, that my children. No. This fight, it is a fight for people from the opposition, because what we have seen, some of you people, you want state power. But when it comes to protest, that the people you don't put in front of the people you don't use, you're not transforming them, but you want to use them for state power. You're not transforming them. How can a young man go in the street and protest in the name that because the government is cracking down on the selling of illicit drugs, and in the previous government he had the freedom and will to do that, so he wants to be seen continuously doing it? Then we look at these things. No amount of development can look so better or beautiful in the eyes of our young brothers and sisters that we refer to as Zogos and Zoes. You know how many generations we have lost and keep losing? This is one of the areas that is so fast in recruiting. That one sector, they recruit every day, every single day. We got hundreds of young boys and girls, promising leader for tomorrow, falling prey. Go living their comfortable home and never going back normal. And at the end of the day, they're wearing one clothes for 1 week, 2 weeks. Rain coming, you're running because you know water and anything can pull. And how the one said, no other strength. Some of our wealthy people that we claim in this country, their children are there. And because some of the bad habits, some of them reportedly can even be the one who buying it because they don't want to be machine to see their children in the street. They prefer to buy and carry home, so they're expecting you have to get ready to the house and be
there. I want you to go outside on the street.
Yeah. We must be able to pay attention to these things. Mothers, watch your children. Community leaders, stop calling off for people who are dealing with it, because when the people come and go to your level, will be threatened. That's how we've been able to allow these things. You see, from there, you see one unfinished house. In the morning, 3-4 young men just got up. From there, you see the recruitment start to increase. The guys are plenty. They're sitting all on the floor. Doing what? They taking in this one, taking that one. Wait, no, man, that place become a serious hideout. And the community leader, you bring it for your attention, then telling you, me and Pharaoh put it in there. Well, you go to camp. How do you weed it out? Some of you and your children are there. Right in your homes, they are having ghetto, but you community leader, you pastor, you imam, you know about these things. But you say you're waiting for national government, friend. You got to inform national government. We'll take a few calls on this thing and we'll have to go call it a day because we'll be back here tomorrow to talk on more of these things, these realities that we can just be celebrated. Let's celebrate our independent in grand style. Let's celebrate and see that we have solved some of the major problems in our country. That will return so you don't have to impose curfew on yourself by 3-4 o'clock running home because somebody about to jack something for you to be he or she to support the bad habit. Good morning.
Good morning, Information Brooks.
Please go ahead.
Will Liberia get free from drugs? Yes, it can be. The news I heard this morning from Kool, I think Liberia can get better from drugs in Lagos because of Musa Bede's son. If that is true on a particular news and he has been sentenced for that 4 years, oh God, you got other people around. They're listening to it. They are takers of drugs into this country, into this community. And one of the things history found, people into this community, into this country, had a children when it comes to drugs. You show the thing out, explain to 1 or 2 community dwellers. And for your child or children, you know that they're taking these drugs. Our brothers and sisters that are taking these drugs, people hiding it in their closet, and it's getting awesome. The brother sell that they're taking, or you see now, the LEC meter, and all of them will be getting messy because the man wants to support your habit. But you need to do it, show it out, talk it when they're doing it. Let the police come in.
All right, thank you. Let's talk to other callers. You live?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Emmanuel again. Rudy, look, the problem with us, we love to pretend as though we love this country so much. When you are talking political talk, we are journalists and we can't bring microphone or more. We talk, we make sure we just lag.
Are you there?
The problem here is those women that say they want to demonstrate. That is a good thing. But I hope that the demonstration should be led by a political party because now we gain popularity. One of the things our women always do to us here, when things are hot and things are put you keep silent because it's based on that particular government for that day. I'll keep silent when they want what I don't like, we mobilize and come.
Thank you. Let's talk to other callers. You live?
Yeah, Nathaniel and Weekie.
Good morning.
Let me say good morning to you guys this morning. My name is Ishmael Kamara and I'm calling guys from Painesville. So the issue that has to do with the fight against drugs, I think there's a need for community to get involved. Am I right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think there's a need for community to get involved. So this issue, there's no more community in our country that will boast of saying that my child is not involved, either by direct. So who are your position? We wish that the community can go to fight drugs. Because I can just imagine sometimes with Weekie Brooks, Weekie and Nath, that we got like less than 15,000 security forces in the whole country. We got more than 200,000 drug users, young people. That is a security threat to the country.
Okay, thank you, my brother. Let's talk. Yeah, that's a good one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let's take our final caller this morning. Mr. Smart, conclude. Good morning.
Morning again, guys. Morning, Liberia. You know, having served with the Joint Security of Liberia, I think I have an insight into most of these things. I may not be an expert on it, but I do have an insight. We need to fight drugs holistically. It shouldn't be a one-man show. It shouldn't be about a political party or a political leader. Because the nation is going to suffer serious repercussions from the influx of drugs, as we are seeing now. If you notice, we going from the LRA right now, you will notice the car loaders are there loading cars. By 12:30, 1 o'clock, they will start hanging on all the cars heading
Yeah.
All
Right.
the taxes, all the kickers they will get. But they will, you see some of them full on those things go to school. Then in the evening you see them come back.
Yeah.
What my wonder here is the police is washing. I've spoken with several persons in the police force. I'm not going to call names. Why don't you people set a dragnet to stop these people from riding the cars? Because number one is a traffic violation. Okay? And it's a serious traffic violation. If one person falls from one of those cars, the keke rider will not, the keke operator will not be held responsible. Okay? It is the car that's falling after that we have to foot all the responsibilities. And this is unfair. So let us start there. Number two, these people bringing the drugs in the country, they're not walking by line to come. They're coming on cars. The drivers are aware drugs are in these cars. Some of these airlines need to be charged. We need to find airlines bringing drugs into the country and have their fines. In that way, the search for the drugs on the airline will start with the airline itself. All right? No. In certain countries, in the United States, for example, they catch drug in a car. Weekie, they will impound that car and sell that car. The DA is looking for money, and people walking, they will take the person and put or 3 bags of assorted drugs in front of the person and say they arrested the person was walking, seize the car, sell the car, use the money from selling that car to fund the DEA. We need those kind of strong laws because that's the only way it will stop.
Thank you.
I will tell you something. I was driving one day going to the border at Waterside, and I got to Tenny, and a driver was arrested there for disrespecting the officers, and I got out of the car, being a former commissioner of immigration, to listen and put my 1 and 2 in there because people respect me in this country. And I got there and I started to talk